On today's show, we are going to learn how to identify a void in the market and how to capitalize on that void to build a strong, profitable company. This is the Founders Club Live, the show where we get into the minds of successful brand builders. I am your club president, Jeff Jared, and our club mission statement is to expand your knowledge and spark your creativity. Welcome to the Founders Club, and we're live. We have got an awesome guest today. Her name is Stacy McGovern. Stacy is a wife of a police officer, and she had a passion for helping police families. She's turned that passion into a multi-million-dollar business. She launched her company, Point Blank Safety, back in 2012, and today her company is one of the most successful security companies in Texas. She's used that success to found the nonprofit Blue Family Fund, where they benefit families of injured or fallen law enforcement officers and first responders. Stacy's not only the CEO and founder of these businesses, but she's also a 3-time best-selling author, an entrepreneur, and a motivational speaker. And importantly for us, today, she's our newest member of the Founders Club. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring in Stacy McGovern.
Hey.
Hey, hello. The crowd is loving Stacy McGovern. Welcome to the Founders Club. How are you today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, you bet. Where I was excited as soon as I was going to do this show. I was like, immediately, I'm like, okay, I got to, certain people like I just got to have on. And of course, you're at the top of the list. We go all the way back. I've even got my water today is in the official. I don't know if I hold this up or you can, if the camera's going to be able to see it.
I see that.
Oh, hold on. Let me just hold it still for just 2 seconds. It'll focus on it. There it is. Point Blank Safety official whiskey glass. But today it's just a water glass. Or is it? I don't know.
Right.
Let's see where the show goes. It's clear liquid of some kind. A lot of people talk about your business journey and all that. We'll get into that. We're going to do serious business at the end of the show. If you're new with us, I need to welcome some folks in. If you're new with us, this is the Founders Club Live, the show where we talk to folks who have founded businesses, started brands, and they're having success with that endeavor. And on today's show, we've got Stacy McGovern. She has got a couple of really cool brands. She's written some books, and she does the podcast circuits, the motivational speaking circuits, and she is all over the place. We've been working together for a lot of years. We go way back, so we'll get into all of that. But so I know a lot of times when you tell your story, I started off when you do the whole spiel, right? The timeline of your journey. But with us, if you start at Point Blank, that's one thing. But we go back before that to Hawk Electronics. If you're in Dallas-Fort Worth and you've been here for a while, you might remember a cell phone store called Hawk Electronics.
You probably got your first cell phone there.
You probably did. Many folks did. Talk about the Hawk Electronics life.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it was a lot. We sold everything pretty much that had to do with electronics. I was the outside sales person, manager over the outside business sales team, and we sold cell phones to businesses. We sold two-way radios. We sold lighting for trucks and highway vehicles. We sold lighting for police officers. Gosh, I don't know, everything. We sold it all. And then they lost their TNT contract, and it all went downhill from there. But it was fun while it lasted, for sure.
Yeah, I was the marketing director at the time when we lost our contract and that company started to dissolve. And it was interesting because that's when I first started working for myself, when I got laid off from that job. It's the only job I've ever been laid off for. And it was the last job. It was the last real job that I had. I haven't had a real job since then. And that was, how many years ago? 12, 13 something years ago?
Yeah.
It was a while back.
Yeah.
And for me, people handle this stuff differently. For me, I don't okay, obviously we knew our contract was expiring and people were getting laid off all the time. But for me, I didn't really go home and tell my wife oh my gosh, any moment now, I'm going to lose my job. I just, we'll see what happens and see how long this goes. And for her, it was all of a sudden. I just came home one day and all she knew is things were going great. And the next thing I come home and I was like, hey babe, I got a new job today. She was like, oh, like a new position or a raise or what is it? And I was like, oh no, it's a whole new company. And okay, so I had been at Hawk Electronics for 12 years. Teletouch was the parent company. I've been at Teletouch for 12 years. It was out of high school, basically. I got this job, and I've been working it. And she was like, oh, my gosh, you're not at Teletouch? I was like, no, babe, I'm not at Teletouch. And I told her the story. I was like, hey, here's the deal. We lost our AT&T deal. And so now everybody's getting laid off. And I said, she was, what's your new job? I was like, I've had so many people approach me about doing their marketing because they know that's what I do for Teletouch, Hawk Electronics. And so I'm just going to go off and I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it all these people that want to hire me. I'm just going to say, okay, now you can hire me. And not like it was so many people, like thousands of people. It was just like a couple people that asked me to do stuff. And she was like, oh, okay, that's what you're going to do. I was like, yeah. And she's ride or die. She just rolled with it. She's like, okay, I believe in you. Go for it. And so it was funny too, because it was the day after Valentine's Day. I remember that because for Valentine's Day, if you remember, like now iPads and tablets are everywhere, but back in the day, it was the very first ones. And there was one by Barnes & Noble called the Nook. And the Nook was a book, but from Barnes & Noble. And they had the color. It was the first color Nook. So it was like early day tablets. And I had bought her one for Valentine's as a Valentine's Day gift. And so I told her, I was like, yeah, I got laid off today. And then she was like reading her Nook at the time. And she was like, babe, do we need to take this back?
Right.
She was so worried like it was going to be over. We're going to be destitute on the streets. But no, everything has worked out. I remember setting up the bank account for my first business and sitting across from the guy at Chase Bank. And he was like, so where are you going to get customers and stuff? I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just going to figure it out. And he was looking at me just like, okay, I give this 3 weeks.
Right.
And hey, 12, 13 years later, we're still swinging. We're still making stuff happen. So we've been really blessed. And I know your journey's similar where you work for the man and then started your own thing. And we'll talk more about that as we go. But before we get all into that, I got a couple questions here. Let me pull this up here.
All right.
Let's see what we got here. Okay, so you work in the police biz. Okay, so folks don't know, Stacy McGovern, Point Blank Safety Services. Real quick, give us the elevator pitch on what Point Blank is so we have a reference. We know what we're talking about.
Sure. Yeah, we hire police officers that work for us in their off-duty time, and they provide traffic control for highway construction sites as well as site security. A police officer works full-time for their department, but then if they want what we call off-duty money or extra money to make ends meet, they can work these side jobs and raise that money for their family. And they can work as much or as little as they want. They're total independent contractors. And we have sites pretty much all over Texas.
Yes, I thought that was interesting to note. A lot of times when you see police working some big event and they're out there doing traffic, they're in the full, police uniform with the cop cars there and the lights and everything. But a lot of times, and people don't know this, that those are off-duty officers. But they're
Absolutely.
in their uniform, and obviously they can arrest you. They've got a gun and they've got a badge.
That's the thing about the state of Texas is that once you're a police officer in the state of Texas, you have jurisdiction throughout the state. So you don't just have to, if you're Fort Worth, you don't just have to work in Fort Worth as far as off-duty goes. You can work all over the state and still have full jurisdiction as a police officer.
Okay, very cool. Okay, so now we know a little bit about Point Blank and what they do. Tell us, what would we be surprised to know about the police biz?
You would probably be surprised to know that the traveling public, get irate and crazy irate when their exit on the highway is closed. The stories that we have of individuals that that's their exit. They're going to take it. They don't care. They don't care that there's a police officer blocking it. They don't care. One man, one time, had groceries in the back of his car. He actually got out and started throwing the groceries at the police officer and his car. So full cans of Coke and just go to the next exit. Like what?
Like the old timey days where they just throw tomatoes at you if they don't like your
right. Like
don't
what
like
in the
your
world
shtick.
makes your head explode or an exit closure. So it's interesting some of the things we run across.
Yeah.
One time Michael was blocking a lane, my husband, and this lady went up on the edge of the bridge to try to go around him.
Going on? When I see a cop car, you get tense. You hit the brakes, no matter if you're going the speed limit or not, which I never am. But you hit the brakes and you slow down. What is up with people? I think we've gone a little cuckoo with the police. The respect is. I'm not trying to get into that too early, but
what is so hard to go 15 minutes out of your way? I know, yeah, that exit would be easier, but that exit's closed.
Yeah, people they go by their own rules now. They're not too worried about it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Say you're on the other side of the law. Stacy McGovern. It's her last meal. What is the Stacy McGovern last meal?
Ribeye steak and baked potato.
Oh, steak and potato gal. That's a Texas answer right there.
Yeah.
Okay. No arguments here.
For sure. Maybe a shrimp cocktail. I do love a shrimp cocktail.
I do those reports when someone's their last meal, they're going to be executed, and they ask for everything. That's a whole list of just everything they want to have. I guess they stopped doing that because it was getting too out of hand. So now you
Yeah.
just get the cafeteria meatloaf or whatever was on the schedule. So that's
Yep.
rough. The moral of the story is don't end up there, please.
Yeah, don't get on death row.
Don't get on death row. That's it. Don't get on death row. Unless it's Death Row Records, and even then, that's for the select few. All right, so let me ask you this. What is the weirdest job that Stacy McGovern has ever had, even if it was just for one day?
Oh my gosh, I've done so many things. Probably the weirdest is when I went to college in California, National University. I got my BA in communications, and California is very expensive even back then. And so I was working multiple jobs wherever I could get something, and I played an elf at Christmas time with Santa Claus. I helped the little babies onto Santa's knee, and yeah, it was not fun, but and then you try to make them smile and they don't want to smile and they're scared. And the parents are, oh, but we need a smile. And I'm like, finally, I got to the point I was like, you know what? This is what they look like this Christmas. So let's remember what they actually look like on this day, because you just had to figure out a way to get the parents to move on because there's no way that kid was ever going to smile.
Oh, they've been waiting in line this whole time. They want to get a good photo, and they can't resign themselves to the fact that they're just going to have to go with the crying photo.
So
But that's fun too. Like in the moment, you really want to get the good photo. But then when they're grown out, like my kid's 16 and 13, now I've had a picture of them crying on Santa's lap. That would be cute. And it'd be more fun than just a standard nice smile.
Yeah, so I
More
came up
fun.
with that pitch where I was just like, no, look, you're going to want to remember this 1998 Christmas where they were crying. And then you have to turn around and bring them out into the studio part and try to sell them all those pictures you just took.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Don't you want to invest in our top package
yeah,
of this? You
yeah.
know, but
It
again,
was,
if they did, it'd be more fun.
it was harder than you think, though, for sure.
Yeah. Did you ever have a job for one day?
One day. I don't think so.
I got hired at McDonald's once when I was a kid and never showed up because there was a thing that we were going to, and I was trying to buy some new clothes because I was like 16 or maybe 15 actually, and I wanted to buy some new clothes. I got hired. When do I start? They told me when. Okay, when do I get my first paycheck? Okay, it looks like that was after the day that like I needed it, so
Right.
I just never went in. So I did get hired at McDonald's once, but I never worked there. So
I had a friend that got hired at McDonald's and only lasted one day because they said she wasn't fast enough. Because you have to.
oh, she didn't quit. She didn't. This isn't for me. They said this isn't for you.
Yeah, they were like, no, you're too slow.
You're not McDonald's material.
Right.
That hurts.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Probably bullet dodge to work in the food industry. Is
They
tough.
got their processes down. There's a reason it's so fast.
Listen, this has been fun, but we've got something we got to do here. Okay. We've got a
Okay.
game show. We have a special host, a game show host coming in. I do not know what questions he's going to ask. Okay. He's got us all lined up. Okay. We've got our game pieces here. Okay. They look like that. Let's bring it on here and let's see what we got.
I know this host.
You do know this host. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Adam Jared. And the crowd goes wild. All
Got all
right.
dressed up, guys, today.
Yeah, that's game show hosty right there.
I work from home, so it's normally pajamas,
This was official.
But hey, I thought I would get in the game show mood.
Okay, everyone here works from home, right? Stacey, you mainly work at your home office, right? Do you put your shoes on? You don't. Adam, you do. I got to put my shoes on. The other day, the kids were home for Thanksgiving. I'm still working. And Sophia was asking me, like, what are you doing? I put my shoes on. Where are you going? I'm going to work. Like I just did my little front studio in the front of the house. And she didn't understand. You got to
Yeah, no,
put shoes on to go to work.
I'm a barefoot girl.
You're
Yes.
from Apple, so like barefoot, that's your thing.
Now, we got the peanut gallery weighing in saying, tell Adam to stand up real quick. So he wants to
Okay.
see. Hold on. Let me get this off the. Yeah. Oh,
I do have shoes on though.
there it is. There they are. Some Nikes.
I do get. Oh, my tie is a little bit short.
I was going to ask about the tie. What?
My daughter actually bought me this tie, like for Father's Day or something, like way back in the day,
Yes.
and I just kept it. This is the first time I've ever worn it.
But why is it so short?
I wanted it really fat,
Okay. You
Oh, okay.
committed more up top, and you had to give up
Me,
something down low.
yeah, but you couldn't see it, so I was like, oh, okay, it'll be fine.
Okay. I thought maybe it was like, what's the opposite of the big and tall store? It's like the big and small store. I thought maybe it was from that certain kind of collection. I don't want to call
No,
anybody out here.
then Justin tried to call me out, make me
Yeah.
stand up.
Yeah. He wanted to see if you were even wearing pants, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah. Good to know if you're in the chat. Hey, listen, if you're in the chat, we are live here. Okay, folks, this is the Founders Club Live. Welcome. If you're just joining us, we are talking to people who have founded brands, and we want to have a good time doing it. Okay, this is not your grandma's business podcast where we just say, tell us about the 5 challenging things you've faced in business. We might get to some of that. We are going to talk serious business here in just a moment. But today we're talking to an awesome, amazing person named Stacy McGovern. You see her right on the screen, right over there. And she has founded Point Blank Safety Services and the Blue Family Fund. We're going to get into all of that. But right now, we're playing a game show called Samesies. Okay, we're going to find out if we answer things the same. Okay, so we brought in our special host, Adam Jared, because he's the only one that knows the questions. I am usually hosting the games, but if I know the questions, then that's an unfair advantage. So I've got my pages here, and I've got my Sharpie here, and so Stacy's got the same. So Adam, take it over, and let's see how well we do.
Okay, I'll be on. Oh, wait, hold on. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, let me get my
get your game show mic. You're Bob Barker.
It's very long, too.
So it is.
Bob Barker here.
I can hear you much better now.
Now you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so first of all, I missed the memo on the samesies thing, so this is going to be a little tricky because I potentially not samesies kind of questions, but game show nonetheless.
Yeah. But if we both get the same wrong answer, then that would be a point in samesies.
There you go.
We'd be the same kind of dumb.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think
I don't think we are the same kind of dumb.
No, I'm a unique kind of dumb that's only, I'm redneck from Oklahoma dumb, so
I think I threw some layups here, but let's just see what happens. All right.
Okay, here we go.
In the business category. In 1996, this company, originally called Backrub, changed its name to what?
In 1996. Ooh, this is business question. It was called Backrub.
Big one. I think on Forbes, it was the 8th largest company.
Okay, I think I know what it is. I Googled it real quick. Does that matter? No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
I don't know.
I think I know this one.
Things get easier after this, pretty quick.
Yeah, I've at least got a guess here. Okay,
I got a guess.
You got a guess? So Adam, are you going to 3, 2, 1 it, or how do we reveal our answer?
Let's see your answers now. Amazon.
Yeah, we're reversed. Hold on. I'm gonna
Good guess, but
there we go.
You both missed the answer, so does that count as the same?
No, we have to have the same. We have to have the samesies answer.
I had the same answer. All right. Actually, the company formerly known as Backrub is now known as Google.
Google.
I
knew it was Google or Amazon. I should have wrote that underneath just as a background. I could have got partial credit.
Well, yeah, very shocked to learn that day as I was putting questions together. All right, so here's this.
We have an X.
All right, I think y'all can get this one, potentially. All right, headquartered out of Dallas, Texas, this company is the largest of its kind with a market capitalization of around $116 billion, says Forbes. So it's a large company. And I got a helpful hint on this one.
Okay.
You both worked for this company in some capacity.
Oh, okay. I got it. I think I got it. Okay, I'm ready for it. Oh.
She just realized massive conglomerate.
Because we used to do we did all their first responder bowls and all that.
Oh, Bell Helicopter?
Oh, yeah. Bell Helicopter. Could have went just Bell, and I would have gave it to you because they were formerly known as Western Bell, now known as AT&T.
When you first held that up, I thought you were saying like Ma Bell, Southwestern Bell. So I was going to give it to you too.
Just shut up.
Yeah, don't say it. Yeah, you give away too much. You talk too much, you lose a point. Okay, so now what we're doing here is we're keeping individual scores.
Okay, I'm losing.
Okay, you ready for the next question?
We're ready.
Yeah.
Ready as we're going to be.
All right, so we're going into friendship is
Ooh.
the motto of which U.S. state?
Oh gosh.
Friendship.
The friendship state. The
I got
friendship
it.
state. Oh gosh. Okay. Hold on. Let me write something down. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna go.
This is question number 3 out
Okay.
of 10.
I
3
know
of
this.
10.
I know this is not it, but it's just the home state. So are we
All
ready?
right, show it up. Oh, Texas is the
Oh,
correct
it
answer.
is. Oh, I should.
Wait,
No
hold on.
idea.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now I got
from
an
the state.
X. Okay. Now the score. There we go. There's the scores updated. Wow. See, I should have just guessed Texas. Be safe.
That kind of takes us into the Texas category. I do want
Okay.
to say
Now.
that question would have gave it away. So, speaking of Texas, in 2023, the Texas Rangers became the World Series champions.
Correct.
In which year did the Rangers play host to the Blue Family Fund fundraiser called the Hopscotch?
Oh, I think that was.
Oh, wait. Okay, I think I know.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Yes, we should know this. I think I might be off by 1 year, but are we ready?
Yeah, it was between 2 years, but
Before we reveal the answer, tell us this event. Tell us about this event. It was cool.
it was a hopscotch whiskey tasting. So we had one of the big distributors come out, and yeah, they brought some of the whiskey that the average folks can't really afford to taste, the $1,000 a bottle kind of stuff. And everybody got to taste. We also had cigar rolling. We had a shoe shine guy. We had a billion auction items, but it was a lot of fun, and it was a really nice venue. And gosh, I bet we had over 200 people show up and support Blue Family Fun. And it was cool because it was our very first official big fundraiser, and we've done quite a few since then.
Yeah, we have. All right, so what year was that? 2020. Samesies. That is great.
Hey,
Woo!
we got a
one.
samesies. We got a samesies. Here we go.
All right, so sticking
That would have
into
been
the
bad if I got it wrong.
I know. I was like,
I
okay.
almost said 2019.
Yeah.
I'll be honest though, I had to go look it up before the show started just to make sure I was right.
Yeah.
So
You could have said anything. You could have told us we were wrong. We'd be like, oh, dang.
I would
I
have
mean-
been like, oh, so it
I
was
mean,
19.
since then we've had golf tournaments, we've had casino nights, and we've got a concert coming up. So
Yeah.
lots of fun stuff. Blue Family Fund is an awesome organization. I can just plug it because I don't it's Stacy's thing, but Blue Family Fund does a lot of things to raise money for families of first responders. So if you're looking to give to a nonprofit and you want to know that all the funding is going to go straight to the cause and not to the administration, back to our regularly scheduled program.
all right, let's go to Texas country music legends and throw a little trivia question on what Texas country music singer is never even called by his name. Is it George Strait, Merle Haggard, David Allen Cole? What Texas country music singer, and I'm not going to sing the lyric, but is never even called by his name?
Okay.
I'm just guessing.
I'm guessing too. I'm glad you gave us 3 options to guess because I'm guessing.
A, B, or C? What is the answer? Straight. And the answer is actually B. Merle Haggard. I
But
think
we
he
got the same wrong answer. See?
put the green.
Mhm.
All right. Okay. Staying here in Texas, in Dallas, Texas, a dark day for Dallas, Texas history. In November of 1963, JFK was shot and killed on what street in Dallas, Texas?
Ooh, I'm gonna say.
Your famous street in Dallas, Texas. Oh, multiple choice. How about this?
Oh, okay.
A, is it Pacific Street? B, is it Elm Street? Or C, is it Houston Street?
Ooh, okay. A curveball in there. Okay, you ready?
Ready?
All right. I think he turned off of Houston onto Elm. Am I right?
He did indeed turn off of Houston onto Elm.
Hey.
And let's see if the conspiracy theorists jump in the chat and
Yeah, let's see. Yeah.
Gordon
Yeah.
Keith. All right. So in the South, we do love our tea, specifically sweet tea. But which country invented tea? Country invented P.
I hear someone phoning a friend over there. Yeah, you gotta say it quieter. All right, here we
Okay.
go. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Very good guesses, but as our friend the Donald would say, it was China.
China.
It was
Hey. Okay, I got it. China. I
We
put
gotta-
Japan just as a backup because I wasn't so
Yeah.
confident.
I just write 7 8 answers down. Why not?
I'll just exactly. I'm just gonna cover that up so I can edit that later and just act like I just got only the right answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
all right. I got to
And
step it up. I'm losing.
this one is going to be a first to answer question. To shout it out, no paper needed, but the first one to answer gets the green check. What is the largest traffic safety and security company in the state of Texas?
Public safety.
Oh, how could you ever know this?
Wow. Give me another X
You level the playing field a little bit.
and give Stacey another check. Wow. I got
Yeah,
smoked on
more
that.
questions like that, please.
Yes.
Is McGovern's middle name?
Yes.
The question is, what is the highest grossing Christmas movie of all time, according to Box Office Mojo? Is it A, Home Alone, B, The Grinch, or C, Elf?
I'm gonna go with the box office power of Jim Carrey.
Oh,
All right. And the actual correct answer, according to Box Office Mojo, powered by IMDb, with $285 million gross, is Home Alone.
thank you.
If you folks listen, if you're out there and you haven't seen Home Alone in a while, do yourself a favor and watch that movie this Christmas. It is better than it has any business being. It is actually like a really good movie. When you watch it, it's freaking fantastic. It's a great movie. So watch Home Alone. It's actually really good. And you think about all the traps, like he does the traps thing, right? When the bad guys come in, that's like at the very end of the movie. It's really not a traps movie, although that is a memorable part. Anyways, we watch it every Christmas. We watch Elf and we watch Home Alone. Those are the two that we watch every Christmas at our house. And it gets better every year.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so wait, hold on now. Stacey got that one right. I got to get my score right here. She got another
right.
green check, and
So
I got another
tied.
X.
So we're
Boom.
tied.
Okay, we are tied, and we have how many questions left?
This is the last one.
Oh, wow!
All right.
Planned it out.
It's on.
And not only is it the last one, this is a quick answer question. So no
Okay.
need to write it
Oh
down.
no!
So, the last Christmas question. Here we are. In the popular Christmas carol, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, how many reindeer does Santa have?
Okay. Oh, we just say it first. 8.
8. That is incorrect.
10.
And Stacey for the steal. That is also incorrect. Split it in the middle. The answer was number 9. Oh, how do we?
So do we end in a tie, or do we go have a tiebreaker?
I think you got a paper, rock, scissors for it.
I think tie goes to the guest. That's, yeah. There we go. Okay, Stacey is the winner, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, great game. All right, I have to give a special thanks to Adam Jared, our host for today's game. I had some great questions there. She's pretty much guessing at some of them, but showing off our knowledge or lack thereof. Thanks, Adam. Now, also, quick plug, if you're just joining us, this is the Founders Club Live. We talk to people who have founded brands, and preview for next week's episode. We go live every Tuesday at noon, and of course, you can catch the replays anytime, but if you want to be live and in the chat and experiencing the show as we go, then be here at noon on Tuesdays. And next week, an amazing founder with an awesome company, and that man is our host right now, Adam Jared. And the crowd also enjoys that.
I'm excited. Stacey,
Yep.
Good to see you again. Love you guys.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, now we turn the page to some serious business. All right, so Stacey, we've had our fun and games, and I got edged out there at the end. You went on a hot streak. You went on a run. Got them all right. I got them all wrong, and so you came back and won in the end. That's okay. I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter or anything. I'm not a sore loser.
So not a trivia person, but hey, I tried.
I actually am a trivia person a little bit, but you got us with some good ones there. We got to talk a little shop here because people tune in. They want to know from founders kind of some of their success stories. So we've talked a little bit about Point Blank. Tell us a little bit about specifically what I think is really interesting about what you've done and really neat and people want to hear about is how when you started Point Blank, you saw a void in the marketplace and you went and fixed a problem that people had. And that has been, I believe, what's been the most successful thing for Point Blank and for you guys doing that. One, do you agree that's the true statement? And two, if it is, tell us more about it.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely true. If you want to start a business, you need to be sure that whatever it is you're creating does solve a problem in the marketplace, because that's half the battle. If you're fixing a problem, you're going to almost immediately start seeing success because people are going to want what you have to offer. As a police wife, I saw that my husband was working a lot of off-duty jobs, and I learned really quickly that police, at least in Texas, don't make a lot of money in many departments. So they really rely on that off-duty work to make ends meet. But I didn't like the system. It was, you didn't know where you could go get off-duty work, especially when you really needed it. And you, more than that, you didn't know when it was going to be off-duty work. And then you didn't know also when you were going to get paid. I consider myself the CEO of my family as well as the company. I want a budget. I want to know what money's coming in and when and all that kind of stuff. And Michael would come home from working a 12-hour shift and he would get called for an off-duty job. And we were just like, gosh, if we'd only known in advance, we could have planned around that. And so I just said, there's got to be a better way. I had worked for some staffing companies in the past in an outside sales capacity. And I just, there's got to be a better way. And Michael has the police contacts and he's the amazing Excel scheduler. And I had the sales contacts and the tenacity to go out there and try to win these contracts because I knew they used off-duty police officers for highway construction. And so literally we came up with the name, I got a business card and started working, trying to get this going. And I just believed in it. I believed in the idea of getting a pool of officers that knew what their schedule was going to be, when they were going to work and when they would get paid. And it just made it a reality. People say you had success overnight. Yeah. But behind that overnight success, I worked 2 years in the background trying to get this company going. And that was while working a full-time job, while raising 2 boys. Michael was a police officer and on a weird 4 to midnight shift. So he was not really home when we were. And there was a lot that went into making it happen. But eventually we did land our first contract, which was $1.5 million. And those type of contracts have just kept coming. We're now in our 11th year and still going strong.
Wow. Yeah. That's not many folks get to the first book of business is 1.5 million. That's pretty unique and pretty rare. So.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was actually in the bathroom getting ready for work on a typical day, putting on my makeup and all that stuff. And the doorbell rang and it was FedEx. And they had a package for Point Blank Safety, which you have to understand, as I mentioned, Point Blank Safety at that minute was a business card and an idea and a bunch of cold calls.
I wonder who made that business card.
Exactly. I think Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah. I remember making the logo. It's the same logo we still use today. It's on the cup here, Point Blank, and doing the website and the business cards and everything and getting I remember we didn't use any stock photos of police officers. We used people that we knew. And so we called up different people, and I was working from my house at the time. And we called these guys in, and we shot it on green screen when they were all tough, doing this thing. And we did a whole website based on some of those images. And we took a picture of the truck that you guys had with the lights on it, went down over to the near a grocery store parking lot and shot some photos of that. So just bootstrapping it and just getting something up. But I think, for me, helping people with branding, it is so important to have something that people can say yes to when they see it. Not that you had to spend $1 billion on all this branding stuff, but get yourself something that at least people can look at it and go, okay, maybe this might be an option. As a designer, I'm obviously biased to a good design, and I always put a premium on it. But I think also people, even if they don't think necessarily decision makers that they really care about the design of something, they will disqualify something for being too homemade looking, especially for something like what you're doing. Hey, I'm going to give someone a $1.5 million contract to secure these roadways for this period of time. I want to be able to look at it and be like, this looks like a legit outfit versus a mom and pop homemade kind of thing. And I think just giving decision makers buying confidence just visually and with the branding, I think is really huge. Do you agree? How do you feel about that?
Oh, 100%. I don't think I've ever, since the internet's been around, looked at a company or considered a company that didn't immediately go to their website and see what it looked like and see what it was about. So I think it is huge. And because our website was so great and still is so great, but we've updated it a little bit, but because it was so great and our business cards were so great and our logo was so great, I don't even think the company that hired us for that 1.5, I don't even think they realized they were really our first deal. It looked like we were legit and we had all our stuff in line, and you could go to our website and understand what we did and all that. And all that's because of you. And honestly, when I came up with the idea, you were absolutely the very first person I thought of and the very first person I called. Your work is just absolutely amazing. And if you've been to any of my sites, Blue Family Fun, Point Blank Safety, StacyMcGovern.com, they're all done by Jeff and Adam, Jared, and they're all just absolutely amazing.
Thank you so much for saying that. I do try when I am working with a startup. One of my goals is what you described is to make it look like it's a brand that's been around and is established and give you that instant credibility. Like you're saying, is when someone sees it, they don't feel, oh, this has only been, they just prop this up, on a GoDaddy free thing, and they're just trying to see what they can do. Again, no shade to anyone that's just out there doing whatever is in their capabilities and in their budget and so forth. You just got to get out there and do it. The most important thing is that you're doing it. But if you want to have the bigger success with that, it helps to do it in a way that's going to lend to people saying yes. They see it and go, okay, I like this. Let's give these people a chance. And once that door's open, then it's on you as a person to make it happen. The most important thing is Stacy McGovern, and they see you, they buy into you, they believe you. But then if you package it up the right way, it works together in tandem, I think.
And exactly on what you're speaking on, Trey Taylor found me and Blue Family Fun online. So he saw me on some podcasts and heard my story and heard why Michael and I founded Blue Family Fun. And next thing I know, he's calling me saying, hey, I want to give a free country concert to supporters of Blue Family Fun. So he's coming all the way out here to Fort Worth, Texas from Nashville to give us this concert so that we can raise money to help more families. And all of that from the internet. I didn't know Trey Taylor. I don't have any contacts that know Trey Taylor. So it just shows you the power of putting yourself out there, telling your story, making sure your website's on par and really tells the story properly. And look what can happen. When you want to do something, that's plan A and you don't have a plan B. If you're all in, you need to be all in. And that's how I was with Point Blank Safety. I got so many people, I call them the dream killers, that told me it wouldn't work and it wasn't a thing. And I just believed in it and I believed in myself that I could do it. And I made it happen. And there's no plan B, and let's make it happen.
Yes, that is already a trend that you're going to see in the Founders Club. When I talk to folks, they all say that same thing. There's always doubters. There's people saying, play it safe, get a real job. You work for somebody else. Some people just aren't, made that way. They got to do their own thing. I love the story where the guy's in the parking lot at his corporate job and he's walking in the parking garage and the boss man slams in his Ferrari, an expensive exotic car, and gets the first spot reserved for CEO. And of course, the worker bee guy says, hey boss, that car is amazing. That's just beautiful and awesome. And the boss looks at him and says, hey man, listen, if you work really hard this year and you go all out for this company, then next year I can get an even better car.
I had a friend that told me a similar type story that he was at lunch with his boss and his boss said, man, you are my retirement plan. And
wow.
Yeah.
Jeez,
and
give somebody that much power.
Yeah, that guy, I think he quit the next day.
He's like, do this, I'll go out on my own if I'm that good.
Yeah.
I think you're never going to achieve the highest levels just working somewhere else. You just can't do it. But I also will say it's not for everybody. If you got it inside you, do it. But hey, one good starting point is joining the Founders Club and just learning from folks who have done it firsthand, what they're doing and how they do it. And then also just using the motivation, just getting psyched up. That's one thing I'm looking forward to. I'm doing it, But I love
Right.
talking to other folks that are doing it because you just get re-energized and re-hyped. Just going to church on Sundays. You just go every Sunday, you get re-hyped and re-energized and the whole
Yeah.
thing. So
Really.
it's just being around your people. So if you're out there and you are thinking about starting a business and wanting to get into that kind of life, then these are your people right here in the Founders Club. Be part of the club. We want this to be a community. We want to lift each other up and support each other. And one thing I've said, and I'll say this for Stacy for sure, and everybody that I think we're going to bring on here. At first I was surprised, but now it's just become standard when I talk to or hang out with or work with successful people, how free they are with giving information. And they're not, people think about gatekeeping. Oh, they will never tell you their secrets, or they want to keep that to themselves. Man, that just hasn't been my experience. I talk to folks and they'll just tell you what they know, and yeah, you should do it. And they're not really worried about competition necessarily, just because they're good at what they do and there's enough business to go around. No matter what you're into, there's just so many opportunities out there for everybody to succeed
Yeah. Oh, there's,
that
I mean, there's
successful
enough
people aren't
business.
scared by that.
Yeah. There's enough business for everyone. And I always say, you're not my competition. You're just in my way, and I'm going to get around you or figure out a way around it.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I have no problem helping anyone that needs the extra little push, because there's so many times along the way, along those 2 years, that I thought maybe I should give up. Maybe I'm losing time with my kids. Maybe I should just fold in the towel. But something in the back of me just said, no, this is your path and this is what you need to do. And so I just went on about it. But there's always those times where you need the motivation. I think this podcast is a great one to give you that motivation to just keep going.
Good. Well, I hope so. And I want to be that for other people. And I know how much it's meant to me in other channels that I've received that kind of motivation for. And you're talking about it. It's almost like a calling a little bit, just like it's, you got something in there that's just not letting you settle for 9 to 5 and just working somewhere. So if you've got that, and for most people are not in a position to quit their full-time job and just go all in on something just financially, but it's that thing of having the side gig and then letting it build up. And then it's the tricky part of, okay, when do I jump over? When do I bridge the gap into going into that hardcore full-time? And so that's just a tricky thing you got to navigate. Each person's scenario is different. But no, that's amazing. What would you say to somebody that was starting to get some traction on their side gig, when to cross over?
So when you get to the point that where your next 5 deals are coming from, and you can potentially see that on the radar, I think is when you can start backing away from the 9 to 5 kind of thing. But it all comes down to making sure you're outsourcing things that you're not good at, making sure that in the first probably year and a half, I didn't keep track of what we spent every day. I kept track of how much money we made every day. So I had a big table calendar and wrote down every day how much money came in for the business. And if it was a 0 day, there's a problem. I'm spending too much time on social media or bookkeeping or whatever it may be, which is not my forte. I'm a salesperson. It's just a good reminder. So when you can see that you finally got to where you're generating income on a daily basis, I think that's the time when you can start looking at whether you can take a break from the 9 to 5 and go full time with it.
That's a good metric. I've never heard anyone say that before. Literally how to measure success in that way, and just looking at what you're doing versus what you're bringing in, and then making decisions on what you're doing based on that. I love that.
Yeah. Everybody keeps track of their expenses, right? That's like a no-brainer. But how often do you sit down and really calculate how much money did you make each day this month? And if there's a lot of zeros on that page, you're doing something wrong. And that's definitely a cue not to go full time yet.
Yeah, for some people, they're very cautious, and they want to measure the other side. And for others, they're more bold and more sales oriented mindset wise. And so their kind of philosophy is be in make a buck mode and not a save a penny. It's either save a penny mode or make a buck mode. And I think some people like us, like I think with me, we're in the make a buck mode. We'll leave the save the penny to other people that kind of think that way and can help us out. But I think also having the right help is huge, because I think for me, the more I've been in the game, the more I know I just definitely have weaknesses and stuff that I don't really do well. So I've got to have other people helping me do those type of things. You got to delegate, basically, just because you're not going to be able to do every single thing. You're not going to be good at it. And when you start off, you're in denial. Oh, no, I can do that. I can do that. I don't want to spend money on having someone help me with that. But the faster you can get to the point where you're getting the best help on things that you're weak at, the more successful you're going to be. Because like you're saying, you look at the things, I spent all this time doing this and this isn't even stuff I'm good at. I'd rather spend the time doing the stuff that brings in revenue. And that's obviously the name of the game.
100%, because so many people do exactly what you said. Oh, I can do the books. I can do the payroll. I can do the social media. I can do the advertising. I can do all that. But then what happens is you've created a job for yourself, not a company.
Right.
And there's a difference. And creating a company means outsourcing the things that you're not good at.
Yep, couldn't agree more. All right, so we've been talking a lot of serious business, okay? But you are in the cop world, and now it is time to turn the page. Oh, before we turn the page, I want to mention something real quick. Stick with us to the end because we do have a giveaway. We have an awesome giveaway, so I just want to plug that real quick. We're going to get to that in a bit, but we are going to turn the page. We're going to talk about the top cops, and so let's do that. I'm going to pull it up right here. Here we go. Let's do it. Okay, Stacey. So here, this is a draft scenario here. Okay. So here's the game. We don't have a fancy intro for this because I got lazy and I didn't make it. But all right, here we go. Top cops draft. Okay, you get first pick. These are police from movies and television and I guess books or any kind of fictitious cop. Here we go. You're our first pick.
Number 1 is Axel Foley from Beverly Hills Cop.
Axel Foley, number 1 pick. That is a great pick. That was on my list. Let me get my board pulled up here so I can update it. Here we go. Pick number 1. Bam. Axel Foley, Beverly Hills Cop. Okay. All right. I'm going to go with we're in the Christmas season anyways. Again, under the category of famous movies that you need to recheck, you need to rewatch. It is John McClane from Die Hard. One of the best action movies. Yeah, so good. And hey, you know what? You know what else? Bonus points, because this is a point blank thing, because in the movie, he's off duty. So off-duty cop saves the day.
Yep. Now here's the other thing. Is it a Christmas movie?
So I say, yeah, I see that. Okay, this is a great question. This is very controversial. I can see it both ways. But I say 100% yes, Christmas movie. You've got lots of references to Christmas. You've got Santa Claus. You've got the snow, the money at the end. It's falling down. I think there are savings bonds or something that are falling down, and that's like a snow thing. Christmas music plays. Really, it has a lot to do with family togetherness, getting back to your family. It's a compelling point can be made. A case can be made for a Christmas movie. Your non-Christmas movie.
I think the very first one came out in July, right? So sometimes I'm like, how is that a Christmas movie? But I see the references. So I get a next pick.
You're up.
You took that one from me. I'm going to go Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead.
Ooh, okay. That's a good one. I have to say, I watched seasons. I think I watched the first 3 or 4 seasons.
Yeah.
I bailed. I think is it still going?
I think it went off the chain there at the last couple seasons.
But they wrapped it up?
Yeah. It was good for a while.
Okay, we got Rick from Walking Dead. Okay, I'm going to go, my second pick, this is a tough list. Okay, I'm going to go with the real bad boy, a guy who just does what it takes to get the job done. I'm going Vic Mackey from The Shield.
Ah, that was on my list too.
Oh, it was. I love that show. I watched it well after its airtime. I always heard how great it was, and I watched it. And I won't spoil this for anybody that is going to watch it, but in the later seasons, a character that you really, care about, some bad stuff happens. And I tell you what I did the last season. I think it was the last season or the last 2 seasons I stopped watching it. I had to go away from it. And then like years later, probably like literally 2 or 3 years later, I was like, okay, I'm going to finish it. And then I finished watching it, but I had to step away. So Vic Mackey, he's my number 2 cop.
Yeah, that's a good one. I had that one down. A more recent one, I think I'm going to say Casey Dutton.
Oh, Casey Dutton. And that's from Yellowstone?
Yeah, he's not technically a police officer, but he was a livestock agent. He had some police authority.
Okay, so that's police adjacent. And is he the one that all the girls like?
Yeah, he's pretty easy on the eyes.
Okay.
And he started out as a singer.
Oh, in the show or in real life?
No, in real life.
Okay. He has that vibe about him. He looks that way. Boom. Okay. So you got Axel Foley, Rick Grimes, Casey Dutton. I'm going to go this is just one of my favorite movies from our favorite directing duo. And I'm going to go with Marge Gunderson from Fargo. She was pregnant. She made no wrong moves. She just, she was the smartest one in the room, but never acted like it. She's got that Minnesota accent. And I think she won the Academy Award. I think Frances McDormand won the Academy Award for that role. But yes, I'm putting Marge on my list.
Okay. I don't know if you've seen this series. It's called The Killing.
Okay.
And the character is Sarah Linden, and she solves all these cases of killings. It's a really intense series, but it is so good. And she's amazing in the role. That's the character Sarah Linden. And
Okay.
it's real Enos that plays her. But if you haven't watched that series, it's really good.
Okay. What is The Killing on? Is it on like Netflix?
Yeah, I think it's on Netflix.
I'm going to go for my fourth pick. I am going with another Texas boy right here. We're going to go with Matthew McConaughey's portrayal of Rust Cole in True Detective Season 1. Time is a Flat Circle.
Okay.
That's my guy. He really went for it.
And my last pick, it's between a couple of them, but I think I'm going to go with Hank Schrader from Breaking Bad.
Oh, I didn't even consider him. And
he's a little clueless, but he finally figures it out.
He does. And when he does, that's a great moment.
Yeah, it takes him a minute, but yeah, he's good.
Yeah. I, again, won't spoil this for anybody that watches it, but I rewatched that series last year. And I will argue with anybody, no TV show that I've ever seen or heard of has a better final season. Because usually they run out of steam, especially when they go over 4 seasons or so. But it has a fantastic last season. They really stick the landing and everything that happens. But when Hank's part of the show his storyline is concluding, that was rough. I guess I can talk about it a little bit. It's been out for a decade or so. But when Hank meets his end, it got me. And I knew it was coming. But when it happens, it got me. I was feeling some kind of way about that. When Hank, it's fun thing because you're really with Walt the whole way. And he does all the progressively worse and worse things, more despicable things. But when the Hank thing goes down, that's when it's okay. I got to be off of Team Walt because this is the bridge you can't undo. There's certain bells you can't unring. And just when that, and Gomi, no shade to Gomi, he was there. He would ride or die with Hank to the last minute. But when Hank and Gomi go down, then shoot, you got me with that one. Dang it, that's a good choice. Okay, I have a little bit more of a fun choice for my final wrapping up mine, and I'm going to go with Hopper from Stranger Things, Jim Hopper. So that's going to be my list. So now, here we go. We got Stacy's got the Beverly Hills Cop, Axel Foley, Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead, Casey Dutton from Yellowstone, Sarah Linden from The Killing, and Hank Schrader. I don't know how to spell Schrader, so I didn't type it in there. Hank Schrader from Breaking Bad versus John McClane, Vic Mackey, Marge Gunderson, Russ Cole, and Jim Hopper. I think those are 2 respectable lists. I see some good cops on this list, but here's what we need: the comment section to come in and tell us if we got it right, if we didn't get it right, who won. Now, also, I think, here we go. I'm falling asleep on the comment section over here. We got a lot of comments going over here. Listen, we have a vote here for Die Hard being a Christmas movie. Okay, there's purporting me. We've got a vote for Dirty Harry to be on a top cop. I thought about Dirty Harry. I am a huge Clint Eastwood fan. I don't know, this isn't really part of this podcast necessarily, but I'm a huge movie nerd and TV nerd. If you've ever met my son, he is a movie computer. He's 16 years old, and he knows more about movies than I do, and that's saying something. So I've got to try to keep up with him. I thought about Clint Eastwood is just one of my personal favorites. I love his movies, and I like what he's about. He's like almost 100 years old, and he's still out there doing it. He's a freaking inspiration for people. Keep him moving in your old age. I'm trying to live to 150. That's my goal. We'll see how that goes, but I think with technology, we'll get there. But Clint Eastwood is the man. We also have a vote for Marisha Hargitay from SVU.
And she was on my list, just so you know. She was?
Oh, we have a girl. Okay, well, you have one girl, and I have one girl. Okay, hey, we've both got a girl on our list. Okay, that's not so bad. Okay. Oh, we have Ponch from Chips. That's not a bad vote for the Latin community.
I
Okay.
had both. I had Ponch and John on my list.
Ponch and John. See, you could have got a twofer. You could have got Starsky and Hutch. You could have
Yeah.
gone, yeah, you could have, there's a couple of twofers. Yeah. Captain Raymond Holt from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's a family favorite over here at this house. We like that show. And so he could be on the list, but yeah, a lot of honorable mentions. But those are some respectable lists. We want the comment section. Honestly, we do need you to help us break this tie. Who's got the better list? Stacy McGovern or Jeff Jarrett? Also have, see, Adam is always winning the comment section. Johnny freaking Utah from Point Break. Again, another movie that if you slept on it, it's so much better than you remember. From Academy Award-winning director Catherine Bigelow. She didn't win for that, but listen, she knows what she's doing. If you go back and watch that movie, that is a well-crafted movie. It seems like a cheesy nonsense movie. Go watch it again. It's so good. And Keanu looks beautiful as a young man, but Patrick Swayze is a freaking golden god as Bodhi. He is just the man. He's awesome. I usually have long hair. It's back here somewhere, and I just patterned my look after Bodhi from Point Break. And so, okay, much love.
Wasn't Keanu also a cop in Speed?
He was a cop in Speed. Yes, he's been he's a cop in Speed, and I think just those two, but I can't think of anything else. The comment section will tell me where I forgot one. But yeah, Speed is also a good movie. Wow. Okay, so there's our top cops. Wow, this is quite the list. Stacey, thank you so much for coming on the show and indulging in our nonsense, but giving us some insights about how to start a brand and how, just telling us a bit about your story. Thank you so much. If you guys don't know and just joining us, I've worked with Stacey on all of her stuff and her different businesses and nonprofits for almost 15 years now. Back when I got that first job in San Francisco with GoPayGo. If you remember that one, that was a fun one. So quick story time there is Stacey was trying to get on with this company and she needed a PowerPoint presentation as part of the interview, the job interview.
Video. I needed a video.
Was it a video? Okay, for the job interview. And she's like, I'm going to hire my friend Jeff because he knows how to do it. And if he does it, you tell that part.
Yeah, if it was just a PowerPoint, I could have done that. But I didn't know, this was back several years before we had easy access to making all kinds of videos. But yeah, they wanted a video of how I would sell GoPayGo, which was a brand new app in the marketplace. And immediately I called Jeff and said, this is what I need. He understood. He got it immediately. He created the video for me. I presented it in the boardroom and got the job on the spot. They were like, yep, you're hired.
My goal was I would need to make this so over the top and so great that this company is going to say, hey, who made this? We want to hire him too. And sure enough.
But I was going to say, didn't they hire you for several things?
No, they hired me for weeks. I went to San Francisco 12 times in a year. And they would fly me out on a Sunday night. I'd work all week and then I'd fly home on Friday night. And they'd put me up in a hotel, and I went out there 12 different times for a week at a time, working on different projects for them. They got to where it used to be they would schedule weeks in advance, but then it got to where they literally call me up on a Sunday afternoon at 3. Hey, there's a 6 o'clock leaving out of DFW. Can you jump on? I need you this week. And this was early days. I didn't have a ton of clients, so I was just like, yeah, sure, just go out there. It was so fun to go to. This was San Francisco before current day climate, but it was a super awesome city at the time, and just like its own universe. If you come from Texas, it was like stepping off a spaceship into another world. I loved my time in San Francisco working with those guys. So me and Stacey go way back. Stacy McGovern, tell the folks where they can find you. What should they do on socials and so forth?
Oh, we're everywhere. StaceyMcGovern.com, BlueFamilyFund.org, PointBlankSafety.com. And then, of course, on all the platforms, you can find us easily. So yeah, reach out. Or if you want to just make it, today is also Giving Tuesday. There was Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and today's Giving Tuesday. So if you have a few extra bucks, please go to BlueFamilyFund.org and donate. Every penny will go to the family of a first responder.
Awesome. Again, thank you so much. And thanks for joining the Founders Club.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You bet. All right, folks, as we're here wrapping it up, this is just been a fun episode. I just couldn't wait to get Stacey on here. I hope you guys were inspired by her story, learned a thing or two, and also jump in those comment sections and let us know who won the cop draft for top cops. We need to know. We need you guys to settle the score for us. She's already beat me in one competition, so I can't lose twice. I think I got a team. I think I got a good team. But you guys let me know. All right. If you are new here, don't forget to like and subscribe. That really means a lot. We just got on YouTube. Today is our first episode on YouTube. And starting next week, we'll be available on all the podcast platforms. So your iTunes and your Spotify's and all those great places, we will be there. We are doing this one step at a time. Thank you guys so much for jumping in. Again, we do want to make this a community. The Founders Club is for you guys to come in, be inspired, gain some knowledge, and hopefully we did a little bit of that, and obviously be entertained with some good internet nonsense. I had a good time talking to Stacey. Again, visit her website and to get tickets for the event. And be back next week as we talk to Adam Jared about his startup company. And you don't want to miss that because it actually is a very cool product that he has put together. And it'd be cool just to see it and to hear his story as well. So for everyone who was involved in this show, thank you so much. For our production company, podvision.io. We could not make this show without you guys, all the fanciness that goes into this and everything. So thanks to podvision.io. Thank you guys for being here, and we'll see you again next Tuesday at noon.